4 tablespoons of dry mustard, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of cream, and enough water to make a paste. So how much do we use for the water? A tablespoon. And you just mix it all together. And we're adding more water. Okay. Casey Klug tried to call me, so we're gonna continue to make a paste. Yay! Alright, so while you're making the rest, you can put this into a little container and then put it into the fridge and save it for later.
Hello.
Hi!
Okay, we're gonna volunteer to help you, huh?
And it goes in the fridge.
In a large bowl, mix a cup of butter, 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then mix that on medium until well blended. Stir in the flour until the dough forms. The dough and place it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Before you can make the filling for the cookies, you have to zest 3 teaspoons of lemon peel. To make the filling for the cookies, you have to heat all the ingredients over a low heat for about 25 minutes. You need 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, 3 teaspoons of lemon peel, which is zested, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 beaten egg. Stir constantly until smooth and thickened.
Alright, after chilling for 30 minutes, you're going to take the cookie dough out of the fridge and then you're going to roll it into 1-inch balls 2 inches apart.
And press your thumb into them to make an indentation.
Yep. And then you're going to bake them at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, here's what they should look like before you put them into the oven after you've rolled them. You're going to bake at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. The appetizer, you're going to take 2 pounds of potatoes and peel and then cut them into chunks.
While you're cutting the potatoes, you can start a pan of boiling water. Once the water is boiling, you can slowly add the potatoes to the water and cook until tender, or about 20 minutes. While the potatoes are boiling, you can start mincing the green onions.
The potatoes have boiled for 30 minutes. Put them into the strainer and drain them. You put the potatoes back into the pan. You're going to mash them with salt, pepper, 3 tablespoons of butter, and 2 tablespoons of milk. And then mash it all together. Alright, so add 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, or shredded Parmesan cheese, and 2 tablespoons of minced green onion. And mash all of that together. Potatoes are all mashed. Put them in the fridge for 15 to 20 minutes to cool. And we're putting ours in all night because we're gonna come back and do this later. After the cookies have cooled for 30 minutes and the icing has cooled for 15, you can put the filling in the little indentations on the cookies. Once you put the icing on your cookies, sprinkle them with powdered sugar.
Before you can saute the ramen noodles for the salad, you have to crush them up and put them into a large bowl.
You wanna get closer?
You can use the bottom of a mason jar to crush up the rest of the noodles. For the salad, you're first gonna melt half a cup of butter and a tablespoon of sugar into a pan. And then once that's melted, you're going to add in 1/3 cup of sesame seeds, 1/4 cup of slivered almonds, and 2 packages of crushed ramen noodles. And then stir until it's brown.
You're fine.
Okay. While the noodle mix is browning, you can go ahead and mix the ingredients to make the dressing. You're gonna add 3/4 cup of olive oil, a 1/3 cup of sugar, one-4 cup of red wine vinegar, and a tablespoon of soy sauce. And then put the lid on and shake it. Before you can toss the salad, you need to thinly slice 4 green onions.
After you've browned it for about 10 minutes, put it on a cookie sheet and let it cool. After you have chopped the green onions, toss that with 2 bags of chopped romaine lettuce. While the noodles are cooling, we're going to finish the potatoes that we started last night and we put them overnight in the fridge. You're going to crack 1 egg and beat it into a bowl.
2 eggs.
2 eggs and beat it into a bowl. going to take the potatoes and roll into a 1-inch ball. And dip into the egg mix. And then you're going to cover them in panko seasoned breadcrumbs. And then place on the cookie sheet 1 to 2 inches apart. While you're rolling the potatoes, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Once you have rolled and dipped the potatoes, you're going to quickly spritz each of them with olive oil. Now put them in the oven to bake for 12 to 15 minutes or until golden and crispy. While the potatoes are in the oven, we're going to get started on making the vegetarian egg rolls for the side. So what you're going to do is, in a separate bowl, you're going to combine the cabbage and carrots. And we're going to be omitting the pork because we're making it vegetarian. So we're adding in extra vegetables such as 1/4 cup of bamboo shoots, 1/4 cup of bean sprouts, and 1/4 cup of garden sprouts. Normally the seasoning would go right into the meat, but since we're not using meat, you're just going to dump it into the veggie mix. The seasoning is 1 teaspoon of ground ginger and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then combine them and mix them all together. Lay out 1 egg roll skin with the corner pointed towards you. Place about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of the veggie mix on the egg roll. And fold the corner up over the mixture. And then fold the left and the right corners over so it looks kind of like an envelope. And then pinch and roll it up. In a large skillet, heat oil to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and that should be 1 quart of peanut oil. Let the egg rolls sit until the oil is done, but in the meantime we're going to start on the main dish.
We're going to start by boiling 8 cups of water, which is going to be used to cook the noodles.
In a mixing bowl, add the beef strips and mix with a little cornstarch. Add enough oil to coat the pan and begin to brown the beef. Once the meat is done browning, remove it into a bowl. In the same pan, after you've removed the meat, dump in 2 cups of broccoli and 1/2 cup of cut carrots. Stir fry for 2 to 3 minutes. After 2 to 3 minutes of stir frying it, remove it. peel and mince ginger and also minced garlic.
Before we saute the garlic and ginger, we're going to go ahead and add around 5 servings of the Japanese wheat noodles to the boiling water.
Cook the noodles in boiling water for 6 to 8 minutes. Add a little bit of oil into the saucepan so you can saute the garlic and the ginger.
After the noodles are done cooking, you can drain them into a strainer. Rinse the noodles with cold water. Now dump the noodles back into the pan with the ginger and garlic. And let the noodles caramelize. Keep the stove at a medium heat and keep stirring the noodles. Add 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 2 to 3 drops of sesame oil, and 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and 4 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce. Now add the beef, broccoli, and carrots back into the noodles. And also add 1 cup of bean sprouts. Mix together so the noodles are coated well. Add 1 tablespoon of black sesame seeds.
Place egg rolls into heated oil and fry. Turn them occasionally until they are golden brown. Remove some oil and place on a paper towel to drain. Now that we're done with everything else, we're going to toss the salad. Make sure to shake the dressing before you pour it on.
Just add a little bit at a time because you don't want to use too much dressing.
Yeah.
For the drinks, we'll be serving hot green tea. You just pour hot water into a cup with the tea bag. These are the crispy Parmesan potato puffs, the mustard sauce we made, sweet and sour sauce, vegetarian egg rolls, Japanese pan noodles, the salad, and the lemon cookies.
Let's say grace. Thank you, Lord, for the grace of God upon our lives. Thank you, Lord, for watching over us and keeping us safe. Thank you, Lord, for the food you've been prepared for us. The girls have really worked very hard to do it. In Jesus' name, and everyone said,
Amen.
Amen. It's a short prayer.
All right, Jordan, what was your favorite?
Probably the potato balls, whatever they are.
And what was your least favorite?
The mustard.
What would you rate it 1 through 10, the entire meal?
8.73.
What was Thank your you. favorite?
I have to say the potato things too, because I've never had them before. It was all amazing. The egg rolls was probably my favorite too, but that was something new to me. So I like the potato balls.
And what was your least favorite?
Honestly, nothing. There was nothing I did not like. I didn't like the hot mustard
What
either.
was
But
something that you thought could have been like anything like too dry or too salty?
no, I put a little bit of salt on the noodles, but just a
Wait.
touch, and it was fine. Say it wasn't in the video. It's me making that noise.
He's making that noise.
There was nothing I didn't like. Nothing.
Okay. And out of 1 through 10, what was your rating?
Oh my gosh, 10 for sure. Not just because I know who did it, but it was that amazing. It really was.
Thank
You
you.
guys did great.
Thank you.
Okay.
What was your favorite?
Well, my favorite was the main course, the Japanese pan noodles.
And what was your least
They were
favorite?
Well, they were all delicious. Of course, the egg rolls were vegetarian, so I prefer them with meat, but they were delicious anyway, And I used the sweet and sour sauce too. It's delicious.
And out of 1 through 10, what would you rate it?
I'd rate it a 10.
Thank you.
10.
Do you have any comments?
These girls did a fabulous job. They picked out very difficult recipes, and I had my doubts, but everything was just wonderful. The egg rolls did need a little more salt, but everything else was just wonderful. And they did. And I know they're going to get an A+. I just know it.